Hey guys, Mariko Berg, Realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group, and in today's Tri-Cities Neighborhood Guide video, I'm going to be breaking down Coquitlam West. This is obviously the area that is furthest west in Coquitlam and is actually bordering Burnaby as well. A lot of you may informally know it as Burquitlam and Lougheed, but it's honestly so much more than just those master plan communities. And while I am going to be talking about development in this area, I do just want you to keep in mind that this is a changing area. There's a lot going on, a lot of zoning changes. So this video is as of 2022, specifically June. I am going to be breaking down everything in terms of real estate, types of homes that you can find here, high rises, low rises, townhouses, duplexes, single family homes. We've got the whole shebang within this neighborhood. I'll also go through the future development and zoning, as I said, talk about outdoor spaces, things to do within this neighborhood, and of course transit and accessibility. So why don't we just get into it? So the Coquitlam West sub-area is bordering the Burnaby area as well, and that's really separated by North Road. Heading west and east, the main roads within this sub-area are Como Lake and Austin, but it actually stretches all the way down to the highway on the south side. On the north side, you're actually bordering Port Moody's Glen Eyre neighborhood, and then on the east side, this sub-area runs all the way up until Blue Mountain as the main dividing street. So Coquitlam West, I mean, it gets broken down into a lot of different areas, and as I said before, the most notable areas as of right now are Burquitlam and Lougheed, and these are really these transit village oriented areas that have high density residential, retail spaces, commercial spaces as well, but you also have little pockets based on the official community plan that will be growing in the future. So most notably on the north side of the sub area bordering Port Moody, you have Oakdale, and that's where you currently have new developments coming in like the Oaks by Strand, and a variety of other ones as well. That area will be developed. And then kind of in the middle of the sub area, you have this future plan community that is right around Whiting Way. In terms of the area as a whole, I mean, it's really known for these high-rise residential apartments, but generally the way that the official community plan talks about this neighborhood is heading from west to east. You have high density, high-rise buildings, which are honestly getting zoned all the way up to about 80 stories, but are consistently in like the 30 to 50 range, I would say. And then you start to move a little bit more east and you see more low-rise residential apartments, so commonly like 4 to 6 stories right now. Then you move into kind of the townhouses, and then you move into more of the detached homes, which we're in right now. All of these homes within this area for the high-rise and the low-rise are mostly within a 5 to 10-minute walk of the SkyTrain, and even the detached homes within this area, the goal is for them to mostly be within 10 to 15 minutes walk of the SkyTrain. So accessibility is really a big bonus for this neighborhood. The detached homes, I feel like, get overlooked in this neighborhood just because it's so known for being like these master plan communities like Burquitlam and Lougheed, but you have a lot of really, really beautiful homes here and a lot of variety in terms of the detached homes as well. You know, this is a very original neighborhood within the Coquitlam area, so you have homes dating all the way back to like the 40s and the 50s. You're consistently seeing a big lot, very commonly in like the 9,000-10,000 plus square foot lot space, and because they are often older and bigger lots, we're seeing a lot of land assemblies. So what that means is that you're going to have to be paying attention to the official community plans with regards to the types of homes that you're going to see transition within this neighborhood. As I said, a lot of low rises, a lot of townhouses are going to be the norm for this neighborhood as these detached homes start to land assemble and sell to developers, which is definitely already happening right now. But you're also seeing single family homes too, right? You're seeing big new like 2021, 2022 built homes that are 4,000, 5,000 square feet and still on very sizable lots, like talking 6,000, 7,000 square foot lots. You don't typically get much lower than that within this neighborhood. And there are also very, very few pockets that have an RT1 zoning, which will allow you to have something similar to Millardville, which is another video that we can link to, where I talked about how having options for carriage homes or also duplexes, triplexes, multiplexes, that sort of thing. So as I said in the intro video, I mean, this area is so much more than just the high rises that it's known for. It's definitely a very dense neighborhood where you see a lot of high rises, low rises, and those like apartment style living, but you still have a lot of different options that are worth checking out as well. And so the Coquitlam West sub-area is really known for two main master plan communities, the first being the Lougheed neighborhood and the second being Burquitlam. So starting off with Lougheed, because this was really like the original space, there was always Lougheed Mall there, but this area has really transformed, and where it all started was actually with Shape Developments, who are the same one that did amazing Brentwood and the Brentwood area. They came into the area and coined it the City of Lougheed, which are their towers. And so for phase one of those towers, which are also like attached or a part of the existing Lougheed Mall, they have 4 high-rise towers. They're also going to be building phase 2 in the future, which will be a little bit closer to the highway area, where they'll finish off that project. But there are a number of other towers that are coming up in addition to that City of Lougheed by Shape Properties. One of the most notable ones recently is actually built by Pinnacle, and they've put in an application to have it 80 stories high, which is going to be one of the tallest towers in all of North America. And so that will really completely transform the area. It's already so different from what I remembered it to be like 20 years ago, and I know that you're going to continue to see a lot of changes moving forward. And with the official community plan for the city of Coquitlam, these areas are designated as transit villages. And so they're really all centered around the SkyTrain stations. And Lougheed has the original Lougheed SkyTrain station, which is a very main hub that will take you out into the west, side, Vancouver, Burnaby, New West, etc. And then also out east into the Fraser Valley as well, for both the Millennium and the Expo and the Evergreen lines. And so that neighborhood is really what started this whole Coquitlam West Master Plan community, and you have existing retail and commercial spaces there as well, and is very famously known for Koreatown, where you have a lot of Korean restaurants and a lot of Korean grocery marts too. As we move into Burquitlam, which is kind of the newer master plan community, which is where I am right now, we've got a lot of development that's already existing, but a lot of proposed development as well. And so this neighborhood is centered by Burquitlam SkyTrain station. You have immediate access to this SkyTrain for pretty much anywhere within this sub area, typically within a 5 to 10 minute walk. Both of these areas are defined by high-rise towers, but you do also have a number of low-rise towers within the Burquitlam neighborhood specifically. I would say a lot more parks. If I was to kind of compare the two, not exactly apples to apples comparison, but I would say Burquitlam gives you a little bit more of like a Brentwood vibe, whereas Lougheed gives you a little bit more of a Metrotown vibe. So both master plan communities, but they have their own differences and their own nuances. Burquitlam doesn't have its own mall, so it doesn't have Lougheed Mall. It's got its own kind of community though that does have a lot of retail, restaurant and commercial spaces. So you've got a number of restaurants that are really great up here that I love to enjoy. You've got a Safeway here. You have the new YMCA that's going to be built. You have Burquitlam Park, which is going to be expanded and over 1 acre of park space. You also have Cottonwood Park that's going to be expanded as well. And so lots of green space within this neighborhood. It's a little bit further north, but not by too awfully much. So you are bordering Port Moody on this side. And this area also has a very easy access into Simon Fraser University, because it's just a straight shot down Como Lake and then up Gallardi right into SFU. So I would say Burquitlam is often categorized by a lot of Simon Fraser University students, especially if you're looking for a renter. That's a really good target market for this Burquitlam neighborhood. In terms of where I am right now, I'm in this parking lot. You're going to see a number of towers that are going to be developed here in the future. It's very early planning stages, but at this point in time, it seems like there may be 6 high-rise towers that are in the 50-story-ish range. A good portion of them are going to be rentals. At least half of those those are going to be rental buildings as a whole. So that's going to bring, you know, a solid 1,000-ish units for renters into this area. And then the other 3 towers are kind of to be determined as to whether they'll be residential or rental buildings. So this particular outdoor parkade space will be very, very different moving forward. As you can see throughout both of these mini communities, there are a ton of development that's happening, a lot of high-rise developments. You're going to see a lot of changes even to the commercial and retail spaces as those start to merge with the residential towers as well. So it's definitely an exciting area to keep your eye on. Changing all the time, so make sure to check out the official community plan. Coquitlam, the city of Coquitlam has a lot of really great information online for both of these areas if you look up the Burquitlam Lougheed plan. So if you are looking for more information, you can definitely check it out there, and I'm sure you'll find a lot more info than I can give in this video. And so one of the best things about the Coquitlam West area is its accessibility. And I know I've already talked a lot about SkyTrain options like Lougheed SkyTrain Station and Burquitlam SkyTrain Station, but it's also got like a big transit hub right at Lougheed, which will have a variety of buses that will take you pretty much anywhere throughout the Coquitlam area and also into Port Moody as well. So I think that that's something that's really worth noting for somebody that does not have a car. But if you do have a car, this area is also very popular because you have immediate access to the highway and the freeway. So you've got Lougheed Highway, you've got Gallardi, which will connect you right into the freeway. So anybody that's looking to go into like the Burnaby, Vancouver area, I mean, you've got immediate access just right there. And if you need to head out into like Surrey and Langley out east, this is also obviously extremely convenient. The other thing to note about Coquitlam West is that it is sharing a border with Burnaby. So North Road is that divider there. On the east side, it's the Coquitlam side, and on the west side, it is the Burnaby side. So that whole like city of Lougheed and Lougheed Mall development is actually on the Burnaby north side. And so those sub areas are Sullivan Heights, Government Road, Caribou, like those are some of the ones that you'd be looking at real estate wise to kind of be in this neighborhood as well, in addition to Coquitlam West obviously. And that Lougheed area, I mean, you have the existing mall. So you've got a huge mall space with tons of retail and shops. You've got Walmart, you've got London Drugs, you've got the Bay, lots of different options there right now. But as you kind of start to see that area transform with these new developments, you're also going to see the mall transform. You've already got a brand new food court that came in when the city of Lougheed came to tear down the old one. So lots of changes within that Lougheed Mall area. But if you're not looking to go to the mall, I mean, there's lots of other options within the area. You've got a lot of little kind of like mini complexes like the Safeway up around Burquitlam. You've got the Save On Foods and the Good Life about halfway down North Road there. You've got Koreatown, which has a ton of like Korean grocers. You've got H Mart, you've got Hannam, you've got a lot of different Korean restaurants and a very like strong Korean culture in this neighborhood, which is absolutely amazing because you get great Korean coffee. You've got like Standing Egg Coffee is one of my favorites. You've got a lot of different Korean food options, and you also actually have a lot of different Japanese food options. You've got Kokoro Maze Soba that came in here. You've got Sushi California and some other classics. So definitely an area to check out food wise if you are a big foodie, because there's quite a few options between Lougheed and Burquitlam within the Coquitlam West neighborhood specifically. If you're not looking for like groceries or food or all that stuff, it's like, what else can you do around here? Don't worry, there's a lot of outdoor spaces too. We've already talked a lot about Burquitlam Park and Cottonwood Park, so you've got over an acre of outdoor space within the sub area itself. But as I said, you're very easily accessible to the freeway. You can head out any which way you want into other spaces like Deer Lake or further east. Even if you want to go to Fort Langley, it's pretty easy to get to. And off Gallardi, you have Simon Fraser University. And so, I mean, in addition to the university itself being a great space, you also have a ton of outdoor hiking and mountain biking trails. You've got Burnaby Mountain Park, so tons and tons of outdoor space options within a very nearby distance. And just north as well, you have Port Moody. I've talked a lot about Port Moody Centre in past videos as well, where you've got Rocky Point Pier Park, you've got the Burrard Inlet, you've got a 6-kilometer walking trail, so endless amounts of things to do nearby the Coquitlam West sub area. And I think that, you know, in addition to all the accessibility that I talked about in terms of SkyTrains and transit, you've got a number of accessibility accessibility to other items as well, like outdoor spaces, like malls, like grocers. So there's really not a lot that you need to do in this area that involves a car. And I think that's really why they've branded it as a transit village area, because as I said before, it's really based around these SkyTrain stations like Lougheed Mall and Burquitlam, and is meant to be walkable to those SkyTrains, retail, commercial spaces, parks, all within like a 5 to 10 minute walk for you guys. So if you're looking for that, this is definitely an area to check out, and feel free to ask me if you have any more questions, because there's honestly an endless amount of things that I can talk about in Coquitlam West. It's always changing. The official community plan is a great place to check out, as I said before, the Coquitlam website, or just call me directly. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.